Okay, so you can see right now people are getting ready for this pre-show for the game. That's what's happening behind us. But remember, 7 years ago, this stadium wasn't here and this franchise was almost dead. Al, what happened?
Ownership, Abby. A lot of people will agree that any sports team is as successful as the ownership. Starts at the top. Before they were the Wizards, they were the Wiz, and after they were the Wizards, I should say, it was Sporting Kansas City. It all changed on August 31st, 2006, when owner Lamar Hunt sold this team to a group called On Goal LLC, and as they say, the rest is history. They represent what MLS Commissioner Don Garber calls one of the great sports turnarounds in the history of soccer in America. Led by the deep pockets of two of the owners, Cliff Illig and Neil Patterson, Sporting Kansas City is now the league's model franchise.
Well, it's a few things, right? I think the first is, if you're a fan of the team, I think the first thing you should be proud of the fact is they all live here in Kansas City. They all do business here in Kansas City. They're locked into the community.
And I think the great thing that Neil Patterson and Cliff Illig provided for us as an organization is really an awesome opportunity and an awesome responsibility at the same time.
These are quiet Midwesterners. I describe the two of them as run silent, run deep guy. They're not looking for a pat on the back. They're not standing up at press conferences.
In other words, they're guys you probably wouldn't recognize on the street if you had to. From the time when the Wizards had a hard time getting anyone to come to games at Arrowhead, to having to share a venue with the T-Bones at Community America Ballpark, this soccer team has come a long way.
And there's a lot of people to give credit to of our rise in popularity, but it all starts with the owners.
When I come here, I would not imagine that 2 years after I would see so many people with soccer jersey and like a sold-out stadium every game. No, that's great. I feel so blessed.
Blessed because Kansas City has become a soccer city. And it's not just because of the All Star game. It's the venue, it's the fans, it's the following and the followers of Sporting.
I've said this before, and it's not an exaggeration. It's one of the great sports stories in our industry.
The industry this week has made its way to Kansas City. The All Star game is great, but it's not the ultimate goal.
For us as a club, it's always going to be about championships. There's nothing that will ever rival winning for us as a club, but this is a really nice distraction in the middle of the summer.
It has been quite a turnaround. Abby, they rebranded this franchise just 3 years ago. Now they're hosting the All Star game. Quite a turnaround indeed.
Pretty incredible, and this really is a very neat stadium. In fact, it has won awards, so it's really no wonder that Sporting KC operates with an aggressive social media platform. Volunteers and an army of soccer fanatics are helping shape All-Star Week in Kansas City. They're volunteering in the social media headquarters inside the H&R Block building downtown. The volunteers monitor sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, looking for ways they can help people visiting the Metro for the All-Star Game.
We kind of have the best view here in the social HQ, both physically and digitally, because we're looking out on the Power and Light District for all the concerts and special events, as well as we're seeing this rich thread of content of everyone that's talking about it and how excited they are to have an All-Star Game here.
The volunteers are doing everything from helping visitors who are lost get directions to answering questions about concerts and parking. The answers to those questions are being posted on visitkc.com, and we have a link to that on our website, fox4kc.com. Now, of course, anyone who's coming out here or who just wants to spend the evening outdoors wants to know, Mike, what's the weather going to be like? Tell us it's going to be good.
Abby, it's going to be absolutely perfect. I mean, it looks great out there today.